you care about your health? It's nice you have a habit. It covers a multitude of sins. Not that you're fat. I'm just saying, if you were, it would cover it.
Well, I care about...
I feel like I should leave. I'm not...
I couldn't tell which one was the microphone. You're so small and dainty.
Oh, thanks, Shayne.
Shayne.
I think, I care...
Did you ever care about how... Because you have health issues, kind of like my wife, right? Have you ever tried to eat well to mitigate it?
I have not. I was like, that's just going to be a lie. Well, no, but I want to go back to... I think there's something very wrong with what you just asked, because you said, do you care about your health? Well, you wear a habit, so it covers things. But like, your health is not just about your physical appearance, or like, that's vanity. That's not the same as health.
I disagree.
Your appearance...
No, of course I agree.
Your appearance can coincide with your health. It's a pretty good indicator. If you see someone... If you were like... I got to organize a football team right now. There's certain people who you're like, that's going to be the healthier.
Right. But his implication seemed to be that
the only reason you should be concerned with eating well.
I don't need to care about my health because my habit covers
because you're hiding in your
yes.
habit. Yeah.
But I care about my health. So this was actually a really important transition for me that happened at some point in the monastery, because I've struggled with body image issues for my whole life, as like every woman does.
Is that right?
Oh.
Has that been your experience when you talk to women, that most women, forget me, I don't know.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And the more beautiful they are, the worse it is.
Yeah.
Case in point. It's crazy. It is crazy though. They're always gorgeous and like just perfect, and then they're like, I am a blob or whatever. And you're like, what do you see when you look at yourself? Reality is like warped.
I guess I figure that in this visual culture, it makes sense that a lot of women, and now increasingly men, would feel that way about themselves. I just didn't know to what degree it kind of impacts them.
I remember having a conversation with someone at some point in the monastery, because I realized after being in the monastery for a few years, someone was taking a picture at some point. This is very vulnerable. That's fine. Someone was taking a picture of us in a group, and I realized that I was sucking my stomach in for the picture. But this was just like so ingrained and so habitual that I just did it without thinking. And afterwards I was like, what is going on? Like, that's not... So anyways, this transition happened at some point a few years ago where I did care about my health. I cared about I've always been like very active. And I cared about all of that because I cared about my figure. But then at some point it shifted as the Lord just healed interior things, because it's always an interior problem. I can say something about that in a second, but as he continued to heal the interior for me, then it shifted to, I wanted to be healthy in order to be able to do the things that I love to do, to be able to run and rock climb and hike mountains and things like that. So my health does matter to me. I do the things that I need to be healthy. So what you're referring to that I have that's similar to Cameron is I have POTS, which is a dysautonomia. It's a problem with the autonomic nervous system. And I've been able to, just through cardiac rehab and increasing my salt intake and always wearing compression socks, I went from getting a migraine every other day to I get a migraine a couple times a year now. And I can run I run half marathons and things like that. And so that's been super, super exciting.
Is that dog still attacking you?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's still a dog. Yeah.
We got to do something about that guy.
Yeah. I don't know what to do about it though.
I'm going to buy you guys like a
spray?
Red Ryder BB gun and then just put it on your back like you're one of those Olympic skiers, and then pull it off and you see the dog. And
is this the road by your monastery where you run?
Yeah. Yeah, they have dogs and not fences. And they just there was one, there's this German Shepherd that will chase me down the street. It's terrifying.
That is
putting
way to make
minutes
you run
on your time. Yeah, I was going to say knocking off seconds.
And one time it was one of the people, they come out of their house as this dog is just coming at me. None of them have ever bit me.
Goodness.
And they come out and they're
sorry.
come on.
When
Come back in.
when people make
in. And I'm like,
excuses for their dogs who
"Do
act
something."
inappropriately, they should be deported.
Yeah. No,
Those
it's the
people.
worst.
They are the worst people.
Yeah.
If your dog scares someone or barks at them or snaps at them, you're the problem. And it's not. Don't make excuses for your stupid dog.
Yeah.
Feel
Well,
very
you're in
strongly
charge.
about
The
this.
dog is a dog.
That's right.
It's a tool.
Yeah.
Dogs are tools.
You're in charge. You are capable of shooting it in the back of the head and burying it in your backyard.
Right.
Seriously.
So I want to go back to what I said about it being an interior problem.
Yep.
Because
Enough of killing dogs. Let's go back to the regular stuff. The thing most people love.
Now that all the dog lovers have stopped listening, there's actually, so in our monastery, we have our cells, which is the word that we use for our rooms. We have our cells dedicated. We have a saint a picture of a saint that we hang on the outside of our door, and then one on the inside. And as patrons, basically, of like our exterior life and our interior life. And years ago, I chose for the patron of my interior life, I chose Saint Fotina, the woman at the well. Fotina is the name given in tradition to the woman at the well. And I think most people would think of her as someone who is very exteriorly sinful and had this exterior conversion, but it really was so much a conversion of the interior in her encounter with the Lord, that all of the sin that was happening outside of her was coming from those interior wounds. And so I think I think that we make the mistake when a woman is struggling with like body image issues. We make the mistake of thinking that this is a problem that's an exterior problem that needs addressed. And they just need to somehow be convinced that they're beautiful, or they need to be convinced that they're desirable, or that but like, that's not the problem. There's something inside of them that needs healed. Yeah.
When people ask me about my tattoos and if I enjoy to have them and if I like how I look, I do. When I was a child, I saw lots of people with tattoos and I just really wanted to aspire to that. All the people I looked up to, I thought it was manly and cool and interesting and whatever. And I always say, if the person who looks at you in the mirror is the person you imagine yourself to be, that is like healing and beautiful and good. And so I think so many people, it's the interior issue. They imagine themselves, and then the person who looks at them in the mirror is not the imagined person. And that creates like this major conflict. So the key is to imagine yourself differently. So difficult, easier said than done by a lot. But yeah.
And how much has this been expedited by social media? I know people always talk about this. I'm so glad my eldest daughter has never had a smartphone. She's never had the horror of having to scroll. Like, imagine the depth you get to create in a child by encouraging her to learn poetry and to like journal, as opposed to figure out what filter makes her skin look good. Like, when that's your predominant thing you're doing daily, that's got to be so destructive.
It's heartbreaking when just my regular female friends are on their stories with filters. And they have to have a filter on everything when they talk to the camera, take a photo, and it's like absolutely not necessary.
Someone asked me, someone took a picture of me recently for my podcast, and there was something, I don't remember. I made a joke about something in the picture, and they were like, well, we can just Photoshop that out or edit that out or whatever. And I was like, no, please don't. Like, I made a joke to Josiah at one point, because I had like a terrible zit, and I recorded multiple episodes at once for my Pints episodes. And so I was like, man, it's going to be like weeks of people seeing this huge zit. And so I made a joke to Josiah about editing it out. And he was like, I can if you want. And I was like, no, please don't. Because like, that's not the witness that I want to give to people of, let them see that Mother Natalia has zits too.
Hey, thank you so much for watching. Before you go, do us a favor, leave a comment, let us know what you thought of the video, like, and subscribe.